Hello,
Hello,
namaste from
everyone.
hi from Germany and from
Brazil.
yes. So we are happy we are here again for you, and we want to say that we planned before that we come on before, but actually I think you Danilo and I'm also very busy on many different levels.
Mhm.
So the lockdown is not just for everybody. How you say? Um, just a moment. I see this podcast was deleted on Facebook. Okay.
Okay, so we are now live on HoloVibes
On
and on Facebook.
now we are okay. Great.
No, I'm
So
not sure. I'm
actually,
asking.
no, I'm not sure. Maybe let's check that.
Okay.
Can you check on HoloVibes?
Yes, I'll check. I think we are
Uh,
on HoloVibes.
yeah, on HoloVibes. On Facebook, it doesn't work. It doesn't seem to work. I get a message
Yeah,
here also. It doesn't work. But are we live on HoloVibes?
I'm checking now.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I think some people are texting from YouTube, so I think we are live on HoloVibes.
Okay, on HoloVibes, yes. Unfortunately, it didn't work on Facebook. I don't know why, but anyhow, at least
Yes.
we're there. Okay, so yeah, what I wanted to say, we are actually many of us are very busy in many different ways, and many people use a lockup for a lot of the projects and researching and inner healing work and outer healing work and so many ways, and all the time is running and we're like, whoops, no live stream happened for 2 weeks. So here we are again, and we are very happy you are with us. And if you want to send us a message here, you're very welcome to do that, to chat with us, to contact us. And Danilo and I, we had this idea, especially it was your idea, Danilo. I really love that. And what is needed to have a shift on this special time of healing and energy. And I want to ask you some questions for that. But before I want to really say something to this, I personally really, really believe this is a very big thing on many, many different levels, of course.
Yes.
And um, it's something which in always is very important that we open our eyes. So in my opinion, it's to open the eyes to the darkness, to see the darkness, to bring light into the darkness on many different levels, to bring the love, the consciousness, the healing in many different levels. And these levels are, if you look in it, if you go in the rabbit hole, are huge. So we're talking about so many different levels. And
Yes.
there are many people who are doing a lot of amazing work on consciousness and healing and helping the people to understand. And there's something which came in my mind last week. It's when you were in the darkness retreat here with us. What really impressed me very deeply was when you told me about your vision in your heart and in your soul, which was so strong. I don't know how many people had to wake up. Maybe you have to, you can tell later, but there's a certain amount of people who have to wake up in order that energy is shifting. And when I saw now what's happening, I felt that from the knowledge of what is happening on different levels deep on the rabbit hole, I think I know more than you, but and longer, but it doesn't matter who knows more because you felt it. You felt it in your soul and in your heart, even without having so much knowledge. And that really impressed me. And I really want to ask you of what was your vision there and what was your feeling and what is your hope for the shift right now?
Yeah. So first, I would like to answer one question. Right now, I'm from Brazil. Tamiko asked where I am right now, but I am in Brazil right now. And hello to everyone. And about the vision and the mission that I I chose to my life actually is to inspire and help 100 million people to awaken and meditate for Earth. So inspire 100 million people to meditate. And that is one thing is that I've always wanted to, especially when you start to get into this spiritual journey, I used to ask myself how I can help the Earth, how I can help others. Should I start this type of company? Should I start that kind of company? Should I, work with plastic, work with, you just try to see so many things. And what I realize is that every problem that we are facing, every situation that we are facing is something that comes from within. It starts from us. And if you want to change like the consequences of our actions, like climate change, like poverty and all these things, it would take so long. But if you can change your heart and how you like your energy overall, you naturally will change all these other things. It might take a longer time, but I believe that if 100 million people would meditate for the earth, earth healing, or to raise the vibration of the earth, like for 40 days, I would say, this would bring such a change that we cannot even imagine. But I'm sure that that would raise the vibration, and so many other things would just um, uh, happen from that. So my vision that I had, and like I had this mission before, but I just made me more sure when I was in the dark, is that I would love to inspire 100 million people to meditate and to think for Earth. And that's the reason why I started the Holo Vibes channel. That's the reason why I'm doing many different works. And yes, and as Bharati said, I think we are all connected on different levels. Like our action is having an effect on everything that is happening. Our previous actions also had an effect on everything that is happening. So that's why I think that now we are like, actually right now we are more connected than we have ever been. Like consciously, everyone is thinking on the same problems. Everyone is going through the same experiences. Before it was, okay, me in Brazil, in my own city, and Bharati in Germany, or people in China. Like we didn't had this connection, like this connection or this thing that we were together. But now it's like everyone against Corona, everyone against this negativity or these dark energies. Like we are more connected than before. So I think this is a great opportunity for us to realize how, even though we might feel that we are inside, every action of ours is affecting the global. And more than before and more than ever, actually, we have to join our hands and connect our hearts to actually wish and pray for the earth overall. And even though we cannot see or we cannot think about how our actions can affect the whole, I'm pretty sure that like one person more meditating on earth will bring so much change that so yeah, that's my vision, to inspire 100 million people to meditate.
I know, it's amazing. And I remember that day when I went into your Darkness Retreat room and you shared that and you prayed for that and you did mantra and sadhana for that this is happening. And I think in dark times like this, there's a chance that people see that is that everybody has a little bit of responsibility for the energy field they create. I mean, nobody can say one person is responsible for everything, but as
Yes.
a one together, yeah, as beings together, we can change something, yeah, we can raise our vibration, and that is needed because all the lies in the politics, all the dark forces which are working on certain things, which creating problems, that we cannot solve that without a certain level of consciousness and also with responsibility. And
Yes.
that is actually a little bit what worries me, that people are maybe not ready yet to wake up to that. So I would love to hear from you. What are you feeling? Are you feeling we are really ready to that as
So
being on the earth?
yeah, I think that if it's happening, it means you're ready. I think nothing happens if you're not ready, or if you don't have the potential. And like you said, I think what is happening right now is just like we are fast forwarding our growth process. So we are fast forwarding things that we would have to experience anyway because of our collective karma or individual karma. For example, I was telling my father how in a few years, eventually everyone was going to use internet, everyone's going to use online chat, live streams much more than we were using before. But because of Corona, now this is fast forwarding. Now everyone is using much faster. For example, in the technology side, what is happening right now, everyone, like even old people, are now learning how to use. This was supposed to happen in 5 or 10 years maybe, but now it happened in 1 month. And just like that, I think our consciousness growth is having the same effect. Like we don't have anywhere to run right now, so we are facing all our inner demons and the world demons at the same time. So and because we don't have anywhere to run, because we have to face them like in front, this process is getting faster. So I would say that yes, we are ready we are ready on our own ways to face this like as a soul. And this is only for me, in my point of view, all this experience is only like bringing everything together. Like what we would have to go through in maybe 5 or 10 years is happening everything in a month or 2 or even 3 months. And so yeah, that's how I see, and I see that in many levels, in a global level and also in a like I was saying, a country level or even in familiar level. For another example that I was giving that I haven't experienced myself. For example, let's say that I have a parent, like some sibling that from me that no, I don't have that great relationship, and before I would had some I was hurt by him before, and I had some, let's say, pain that I didn't overcome myself within me. But now, because of the lockdown, we are everyone in the same place, and everything that was inside me is popping up, and not only inside me, in everyone who is from everyone who is around me also. Now, like little things make people angry, but this anger is not something that came from that just moment. Maybe it was something that it was inside for 5 or 10 years, right? But because we are in this process now, everything is coming out much faster and much more intensely. But at the same time, healing is happening much faster and much more intensely. So I see that just like we are all learning to use technology much faster than we had before, we are also growing our consciousness and learning how to find answers within us and question if the government is okay or not much faster also. Because right now you can see on YouTube, you will see so many things about, you will see much more things about how the government is doing many wrong things, how there are many things behind that we didn't know. But like you said, a lot of people is waking up now. And this was going to happen anyway, but now it's happening much faster. So I just think that what is happening right now is just triggering things to speed up the process of healing. But in this process, we also have to face a lot of demons as well.
I love your way of talking about that, Danilo. First of all, I want to say something about the family thing. So I leave this question here because I want to come later on that, but I some way to go right now. Because I think really it's so good that we face our issues in the families and that we understand what the healing work is there, what is triggering us, where the wounds are there, where we come back to the unconditional love, where we see why we are triggered and what makes us angry. And so it's an amazing time for like a group retreat here right now, where many people are in the family group retreat and in a healing transformation, which of course will change, because that only can change if you look at it, if you go into it, if you face it. That is very important, and that makes me very happy. That's true. At the same time, I really love the way of you thinking so positive, because it's maybe also you're kind of a male, like a male is a Shiva energy, who is one part not caring so much, is one part very still inside. That's a very calm down energy. And me as a Shakti, I have to say, as a female, I feel like all these waves, and I'm like, sometimes I feel that energy, like I'm like, whoa. I mean, not about myself, and we are very, I think we did a lot of work and stuff before also, or for us it's more coming down right now. We personally feel that more of the stress we had also personally was adding up because of different things of work stress and situations. But that I know this kind of healing work, right? We are also in it, especially if you're in a awake marriage and you're facing your things and you're not suppressing, so you kind of constantly on work. So that's, I think it's important to look at things and do work on yourself and together. But I also feel this fight going on still,
Yes.
of the negative side. And sometimes I personally feel I know too much. Sometimes I wish, like in Matrix, where you get the blue pill,
Yeah.
that I can just take it and I just enjoy a Netflix series, or I don't know,
Yeah.
So I think that that is also very beautiful, to always come back to that calm energy and to that energy of observing the waves and seeing that the waves are moving. And I really love this, that you already see what's the outcome of this, and that is very beautiful. And of course, there's a lot of pain and purification in that process, and we're going
Yes.
on to that in many different levels as well right now.
Yes. Yes, I remember that when I was in the dark, I had this experience where I saw a lot of fights as well, a lot of not only on Earth but a lot like spaceships and
Mm-hmm.
galactic fights. And
Mm-hmm.
like you said, like the fight that is going on today, it was also inevitable. We would have to experience it one day or another, or we would just be controlled the whole time, or we would have to
Mm-hmm.
fight one day or another. So this is just happening faster also. Like
Mm-hmm.
this fight could have taken 5, 10, or 20 or 30 years now, but
Mm-hmm.
everything that was going to happen in a long term now is happening in a short term. So a lot of things that we are facing, I don't see them as just happen suddenly. They're all consequences, or like say karmas, that we would have to face
Mm-hmm.
like someday or another.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's good that we are facing now,
Mm-hmm.
because once you face it, once you go through it, then you like you will become another earth, another being, another family, another country. I am sure that once everything is gone, if we make the right choices, of course, just because we are facing doesn't mean that we're going to um
Mm-hmm.
enlighten ourselves. Sometimes we go
Mm-hmm.
even deeper, but if we make
Mm-hmm.
the right choices and we can overcome all these situations, I am sure that we're
Mm-hmm.
going to live in a much more beautiful earth, that it would have taken so much longer to happen.
Yes.
One, because yes.
Mm. Yes, yes, please go ahead.
Yes, I was
Yes.
just saying that one, because I can already see how now a lot more people are questioning everything. A lot more people are questioning
It's
the
very good.
news. A lot more people are questioning what the government is doing. A lot more people is like they're not taking things for granted, when before they would just take for granted. If the government sent something, they would just take from granted. But now,
Mm-hmm.
in just 2 or 3 months, if the government says something, at least there are so many videos on YouTube saying, "Oh, this is that." Like
Mm-hmm.
there's so many different theories from what is going on, and I think that's beautiful. I think
Mm-hmm.
people trying to think for themselves about what is going on,
Mm-hmm.
independent on who is right or who is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
If everyone is trying to think for themselves, if everyone is trying to find their own answers, that is something very beautiful.
Yes. I want to answer on this beautiful question. What do you think, connecting with the fifth dimension, with the non-human entities? So I personally don't know this, doctor, but I can tell you from some of my astral projection experiences that there are beings in different dimensions, even higher than the fifth. So which is amazing. And I had astral projection just recently. I had an astral projection. It's like, wow. And it showed me on what a planet. I don't know what I thought to come here. It's like, oh my gosh. I mean, I can tell you that there are planets who don't have wars. There are planets who don't have fights. There are planets that don't have sickness in this way. There are governments who really care about the beings on the planets. I mean, that is really there in the universe, even higher than the fifth dimension. And I think, that is always good to connect to the higher energy, because they have something which is so important, that is compassion and forgiveness. And I personally feel so sorry, even for the people who are on the dark side, because they're trapped. There many souls got trapped into wrongdoings and what karmas they have to go through to purify. And also we see what harsh collective karma this is. I mean, wow, this is really harsh. Yeah. And I personally also remember that some very high saints and yogis in India said many times, when we don't change the way how we treat women on this planet, if we don't change the way how we mistreat women and children and the weak and the animals, as long we will not have freedom on the world. That is my question. Are we really ready? Are we really there? I think it will come personally. I think it comes in steps, but now it's a big shift. And I personally think that a lot of people make a huge step right now, and others, we have to pray more for them. Maybe there will be two realities at the same earth happening at the same time. And I personally think it's I really pray that so many people waking up to that. And that is because in my meditation, I feel a lot of pain also on the conscious level, not on myself, but there's a heartbreak in my for a long time now, for the world, or for many, for the animals, for the cruelty. I cannot understand the people who eating meat. I cannot understand how you can oversee those things. It's very hard for me sometimes to, it's like, what is going on when I go shopping and I see like the dead animals and the people buying dead bodies of beautiful souls. And it's like, what is going on, and what it needs to wake people up that we are one and that the consciousness beings. So it's very, I don't know, it's a question still. So what are you saying to that, Danielo?
I also feel that I cannot say I feel the pain that you feel, because I know the pain that you feel is very big. And sometimes I even think to myself, do I even, like, even though I care, do I even feel like, the pain as some people talks like. But like, the way I feel, I don't know if maybe it's still my consciousness level, but the way I feel is that everyone is going through their own journey right now. Like, there are some people who are running very fast, there are some people who are walking, there are some people who are still like going around, but in the end everyone is going forward. Like everyone is moving a little bit. Some people are just going 1 centimeters every 10 years, as another person is going 10 kilometers per day. And that's one of the actually realizations that I had when I was still in the dark, when I was thinking about the mantra, how Shiva has no beginning and no end. And when I thought about the no beginning part, I realized that if we are all souls, like we are all spirits, how can you say that any experience on earth is not an spiritual experience? Right? So if everyone is an spirit in a body, it doesn't matter if he knows or not. In the end, it's his spirit that is having the experience. So even though is someone 100% mundane, or who is someone who is 100% on doing the things that it goes against the spiritual path, he's also having an spiritual experience, right? Because he is a spirit himself. So when I think this way, I realized how, even though that people don't know about it, even though they're making a lot of mistakes, they're still growing their consciousness. There is like maybe they're going a little bit back to grow later, but they're still on their path. So there is no action in this earth, or there's no action in this planet that cannot be called spiritual. experience, because everyone who is experiencing anything is an spirit himself. So, and when you realize that, and I don't see, like, people who eat meat, or people who don't do this or don't do that, as not being an spiritual, not on a spiritual path. They're just going very slowly, and they don't know that they're going yet. That, I
Yes,
think the
yes.
difference between us is that, okay, now we know that we have to go through this path, and now we are going consciously, but they're going unconsciously. And when we go unconsciously, we also have unconscious effects on our life, until, like, we get slapped here, slapped there, until we finally realize, okay, we should go this way. So
I love
yes,
that. I mean, I
yeah,
always love your positive way of creating and your way of uplifting. It's beautiful. And, I firstly want to say I have some friends and people I really, really love and I really admire, and they're brilliant and they're brilliant minds, and they're still eating meat. And I love them so much. And same time, I'm like, guys, please, that are also different
yes,
consciousness beings. They're very smart beings. Animals are very smart. They have a different consciousness and plan. So, anyhow, yes, but I love the way you're seeing that, and I also think it's a very fast track wave. Yes, that is beautiful set, which is creating us. And actually, personally, I want to say something to Q, which is a very interesting alphabet right now. If you Google
yes,
Q up on Twitter and Facebook, and anyway, it's very interesting. Um,
hmm,
and I want to say, of course, I don't believe in any Bill Gates things, and I think this is a very big danger to believe in everything somebody says who has is one of the richest men in the world. Yeah? And I think it's a very beautiful thing that in the US there's an awakening of that, and some money is not flowing anymore to certain organizations. And but in Germany I feel like we are just a handful of people waking up to that yet. So and I personally feel we have in Germany a history of the Nazis, and now I feel the anti-vaxxers could be the new Jutes, which can get really in problems in the future. So if people don't wake up on time, so that on the other hand, I think it might not happen because people are able to see more and understand more and question more. I really pray for that. It's very interesting. In Germany, we have now, if you see people standing too much together, yeah, if they don't have a separate energy of 1 meter 50, you can call the police and you get 500 euros from the police of reporting that.
wow,
Yes,
wow,
so yes, so because people lost their jobs here, many people lost their jobs,
they
or
are
on
just,
short work. So of course, there are people who like doing that. I mean, it's like wow. So that is not something of raising the consciousness, right? But on the other hand, you see still there we have to give love and we have to give understanding, and that is the way we have to understand where they're coming from, and maybe they're really
yes,
terrified and they really and they really believe in the vaccinations and they really believe in the government and they really believe that. So yeah.
yes. Yeah, in my case, I don't, actually, I don't believe in the vaccinations. I don't believe on, like, I have to I have to see for myself. If I'm going to take a vaccine, I would probably ask, okay, let me see under microscope, like, let me do the tests myself. After I see the tests and after I can see things for myself, then I would believe. But I don't say I believe or I don't. Like, if I have to take, I would probably ask, like, some kind of proof or something. But at the same time, even though, let's say the vaccine is not good, but if there is a situation, let's say, like, for some reason, like, because who control, I feel that who controls what I'm experiencing. It doesn't matter if the government really wants me to do something or not. If the divine doesn't want that to happen, it will not happen. So it doesn't matter if everyone is against, let's say, me, or wants to harm me. But if God or the divine doesn't want me to get harmed, like there will always be ways that I can, I can things will happen. But if a situation happens that I really have to take the vaccine, that I really like, okay, if you either take the vaccine or I kill someone, like let's like an extreme situation happens, I will also accept that as, okay, this is something that maybe is planned by the divine. So
I have to
um
say, I'm not. There's a boundary for me. I would not, for no reason. And if you see what is the Bible idea of the prophecy, that nobody can sell or earn any money or do anything or buy anything without the mark of the beast, which could be the ID 2020 and could be connected with information of the apps and lid of the vaccine. Personally, that is for me the stop. And we have a tracking app here right now where they discuss in Germany that you can only go shopping with a tracking app. And already when that news came out, I decided I will not leave my house again, or I just forget my phone. So for me, there's a boundary, because a man who officially said he wants to reduce the world population, and has all his money in 7 to 8 companies of the main vaccination companies, is not somebody I trust my body on. And I personally think that it's very good to research that what I just said, and I also, this is not something I'm making up, and that is also why I'm thinking it's happening so fast now, because of that energy here. What you think of the Christ consciousness? My personal opinion is that energy opened up to a spiritual level so high right now that the humans have an opening of consciousness, of healing, of you see there's so much going on a spiritual level the last years, and so much has changed, and so many people waking up. And I think that's my personal, I will call in German Senf, mein eigener Senf, I don't know how you say it, my personal masala dosa. I just think that the energy is so strong right now in the cosmos that the negative side is like, oh, we wanted to do that in 5 to 10 years, but okay, let's do it now, because otherwise, oh, everybody wakes up. And so, because I think that is also one thing which plays around here. And my feeling is they cannot do that. They cannot force ship everybody. They cannot hold us like prisoners, like animals. For me personally, there's a stop. And for me also, I went through that process in the last weeks of, okay, I'm not this body. Yeah. So if there would be even a death penalty because I don't take that, yeah, then that's it. So this is not a planet.
yes.
I would not be able to live on a planet. I know my family, or we are not able to live a life like that. We are not robots. And I think there are people who can do that, and there are people who are very adjustable. But for me, that is not, my soul is too much, too free for that. Yeah. And but at the same time, I love what you said, that there will be always ways when you connect. There might be always ways, and maybe there's a way we have to do certain things we don't know now. Maybe we have to move in another country. Maybe we have to, I don't know, don't buy anything for a year. I mean, we're preparing for that. We stock up on food and different things, and we
Yes.
make things in our garden. We make permaculture right now. So we thinking different ways. So, and
Yes.
that is something also important to know, that the shift might not be immediately, but the light is very strong. So even if it takes 1, 2, 3, 4 years, this is not going to happen. These negative forces will not win this. This is too much already awake. I just have the question, how long does it go? And are the people awake enough now, or do they not need to still be forced wake up for some more time because they like cannot believe it and still are in deep sleep? So that is just, I don't know, the question.
Uh-huh. Yes. I also feel very like I really agree with how you express, and I also think that like this feeling and this inspiration you have also is also part of the, let's say, God's will, because who is the one who gives us inspiration, and who is the one who gives us the desire to do something, right?
Right.
And I also feel like, okay, I cannot say that I might be completely changed in a month. I might be meditating and I might feel something that completely changed me, but I might just still feel the same way I feel. But I also know that even the like when I see people who are against or who are not against, I don't see it like as I'm not just against or not against. I see them, okay, that like there's some part who are being inspired to feel this way, and there's some others who are being inspired to, or maybe still in their path they didn't felt inspired to change or something. But I think that even our desires is not something that comes from us. So
Right.
in that sense, like, you are completely correct for yourself. Like,
Yes.
if you truly feel like, okay, I'm not gonna take this and I'm going to leave, and like, because if God didn't want that to happen, he would just change something from within you, and just like it can happen to me or anyone else. So I don't see all this as some, like, I don't see my answer now as being the final answer, because I don't know when it's going to happen, and
Right.
I also don't judge either parts. I try, at least I try not to judge either parts, because I know that we don't have control even of our own thoughts. Like, we think that we are, like, I had this experience this week. I was thinking that, for some reason, I was washing my, like, I don't have fear of corona, I don't have fear of the virus, I don't have fear of anything, but for some reason I was washing my hands a lot of times this week, and because of different reasons, like, oh, I feel that my hand is a little bit dirty. Oh, I feel that, when I use the computer, I don't want to leave some dirt on my computer. Like, for some different reasons, I was washing my hand, and I realized, but why I'm washing my hand? I washed my hand this week more than I washed in the last 1 year. What is happening? And what I realized is that this desire was not coming from me. Like, it was just coming suddenly. So I was thinking to myself, maybe this is the collective consciousness affecting me, and I thinking that I am, thinking this desire. I'm having this desire, but sometimes this desire might not be from me. Like, because everyone is washing their hands now, I feel this desire, and in my head, I create some thought that will make me do this, and I think it was me. But actually, I cannot see, I cannot say if it was me or not. But I'm pretty sure it wasn't, because I don't care about the virus, and I don't care about. I never care about washing my hand. I wasn't even taking a bath, but I was washing my hands.
That is really, really
So.
interesting. What are you saying? Because that is I want to share something which is very interesting. When I was pregnant, and then I share what my ideas on that. When I was pregnant the second time, I chose not just to home birth but to do a lone birth. So of many different reasons, and one of the reason was that I really believe that we as a woman we have the power to give birth without a traumatic experience, and that we have that energy, and that if something happens, I always can call my midwife. And so I prepared my midwife for that, who was not happy. I
Mhm.
prepared my husband, I prepared myself, which is and then actually I had all the knowledge. I worked with a doctor together, on a conscious level, on healing myself, on different traumata, which are in the field, in the energy field. They're not with me. I didn't have that experience, but you hear that everywhere. Birth is traumatic. Oh my gosh, you see
Mhm.
these videos where like, oh my God, give me a painkiller. It's like all is in our mind and the consciousness. And then I started to feel at a certain point, I started to question myself, and I felt like, oh my gosh, this is not my thoughts. That is not my fears. That is the fear and the energy of the conscious mind, and that has a lot of power. And at that time, I started to stop talking to people about what my plans are. I talked to my
Mhm.
midwife. I said to her, "Oh, yeah, I will call you when I start." I made everybody
Mhm.
calm down. And I felt like, oh my gosh, there's a field of belief systems which are
Yes.
influencing me in a
Yes.
very huge way, which I was never even thinking. And it
Yeah.
took me a lot of work to experience that and to hold my consciousness. And then it was an amazing birth experience, which I wish every woman and my husband and I were able to hold him. We are the first who hold him. We were the first to touch him, and we had this amazing experience as a family in our living room. And the midwife came later and everything. But this is a big thing, and that is the same with the hand wash. Yeah, so there's
Yes.
a lot which is influencing without even our knowledge. And
Yes. Yes.
wow, that is deep. Hey, that is deep.
Yes. So I think like a lot of things that are happening. Like I can like if you see the statistics, they will say that the statistics they would say that violence have risen 300%, or like a lot of bad things have are happening more and more. And I am sure that this is also a result of the collective consciousness, that there are a lot more fear, a lot of. It's not that every individual became bad. You like if the collective consciousness, let's say, becomes 10% lower, 10% more negative, this will affect at least. I'm just guessing number, but this would affect 40 or 50% on every individual, because there is this negativity that, and you think it's yourself, and then you take this in a rabbit hole, and then gets bad and bad. So a lot of times, especially when you have, like, that's why I think it's important to always be aware of where your thoughts are coming from, where your desires are coming from. And especially when you have a new desire, you want to do something new, you ask yourself, where is this coming from? you know and this is not only for bad things, even for very good things. This happens like so many times, and I think this is so good because, for example, the time I became vegetarian, I remember that I never ate one vegetarian meal in my whole life for 22 years. Like I never had one vegetarian meal for 22 years, and in my mind it was completely. I never heard of vegetarian. Any of my friends were vegetarian. I never met a vegetarian person. But I remember that when I went to a retreat, like a 3-4 days yoga retreat, there I ate vegetarian food, and after that, after I came back, I said, okay, I'm going to be vegetarian. And I am 100% sure that that desire, that calling for that wasn't 100% because of me, because I was 22 years never thinking of that, and suddenly I was 100% sure that I was going to be vegetarian. So of course, probably something from my soul, from my past life, maybe helped me this shift. But what gave the kickstart was probably that energy and that consciousness that I was in for just 4 days. So I think it's really important, like we talked about on our previous videos, how our pineal glands are radio station, and we are
Right,
always connecting. And to never
right,
think that everything that we are feeling, experiencing, and even thinking is everything from, like, it's we are doing that.
right.
You know? Yeah. So
Yes, that is amazing. And oh, I want to say something to this. Yeah, please pray for the world. That is beautiful. And I want to also give some small warning about something. I just heard that the negative side is also using the mass meditation. So you always have to check who is organizing the mass meditations. I heard there's one mass meditation going on for love and peace and healing on the world. Um, I just got a link. I didn't recheck it. I think it's happening today. But organized by Lady Gaga. Please research that who is Lady Gaga connecting to? What is she doing? What is her energy? And so there are many people who are working for the dark side, and they're using that beautiful energy and that prayers to to get that energy into wrong side. So generally it's important to pray and connect, but always recheck. And please recheck what I'm saying. Don't just believe me and don't say, oh, it's nothing, she's crazy. Yeah, I don't care if you think I'm crazy. Just recheck, okay? Very important. Ask questions. That's why that is so important. the queue. So, and I got yesterday a very interesting thing happening in my German Telegram group where I got a thread, like certain threads. So people are not happy that certain people asking questions. There was also some information of somebody saying, "Oh, now Q also reached the spiritual scene. How crazy is that? So can somebody silence those people?" So and there you see, if you see the negative sides coming at you, I always try to see it as a compliment, and I try to see, okay, we're on the right track. So that also might happen. And again, there was a question of the Christ consciousness. That is a way of.
Mm,
I really feel sorry for those guys because they don't know what karma they're creating. If people are really trying to help the people, we love the people. We want to help the people. We want to shift the energy of the people. We don't care about right or wrong. We don't care. We're just normal people here trying to do our little bit of thing to help. So if people like us are if they get threatened, there's a bigger, higher energy up of higher council of light, of beings who will protect us and who will work for us. So, and I really feel sorry because those guys, they're very fighting back to that
mm,
negative energy. So I really hope also for the negative side people that they wake up. What side are they porting? On which side are people are what are they doing for money? If people getting $5,000, $10,000 to spy on somebody's life to create problems, yeah, that might work in the old life, but this will not work anymore in the new life. People are so much connected, they don't have any idea, and not everybody is saying how much connected they are. So I really want to say, please, if anybody knows somebody who's on that side, or anybody knows what I'm talking about, now is the time to really choose love. And nobody is angry and upset. We understand. Yeah, we understand that you do for money, and you really thought you're doing the right thing. But hey, this is bigger than being right or wrong. It's really about shifting the earth right now.
yes. I think like in these moments, that's the part of the self inquiry of finding the answer yourself. It's really important because like having so many kind of influences, it's really important for you to know what feels right in your heart, because
Yes.
do you know that that's the right influence? Because there
Yeah.
can be many bad influences in your head, and you can have 100 or 200 reasons that you create yourself to trust that something that is wrong is right. But
Right.
the moment you you ask your heart, the moment you truly connect and try to feel your heart for the answer, your heart cannot lie.
Right.
So I think one of the most important things, and I think that's why meditation is so important, is that you connect to that heart energy, to that sensation that will 100% take you to the right path. And because there's like I said, there's so many misinformations, there's so many people creating their own theories in so many ways. But the moment you ask your heart, you will know which one is the path that you should be taking.
And I
So
also want to say thank you for there's some people who are also from Germany and different of the world who are supporting and helping on many different levels. And I think that is also something we have to come together. We have to support us. What the negative sides always did. We have to do on the positive side, and it's happening. It's happening. I mean, the
yes.
people would surprised on what kind of connections I have, and I'm surprised myself what kind of connections coming in my life. Like wow! So I know personally, I know there's so many levels of protection and so many levels of energy fields, and that is very important because we have to raise in a beautiful, peaceful way. It's not about just a revolution of demonstration and something. It's the shift is happening inside of us, and also for me, it's a shift that's happening inside against the fear. So that is very important. We have to be stronger than the fear.
Yes, yes.
We need to love ourselves through negative emotions. Oh, yes. And also, I want to share a story. This morning, my beautiful little daughter, she woke up very grumpy, very grumpy. I think she feels sometimes some energy. We went to bed very late, and she just hugged me the whole night, and I could feel something is working in her, and she feels maybe some energies also. And I woke her up very, very late, very late. And she's like, why it's so light outside makes this dark again. This is too light. Mommy, no. And I just felt like she needs a lot of love right now. Yeah. And we should not crump back. I mean, I also not always perfect. Of course, sometimes I also respond back. But at that moment, I was really luckily I was able to see that grumpiness comes from a space of yeah, of insecurity, and she wanted to have more hugs and more love. And I feel that a lot of negative emotions, also anger, and many times comes from some sadness. So I asked her later, what is the sadness? And later on came out that she feels the sadness for all this world. She feels the sadness of people having to stay home alone and her friends she cannot see. I mean, she's 6, in her own beautiful way, she explained, and she feels sad of not going to be able to go to kindergarten and for the other friends. And I mean, it's amazing. And so we had this talk for around 1 hour, hugging and talking, and then
Mhm.
she was happy again. So if people are
Yes,
grumpy and angry, sometimes they have a lot of pain in them. So that is also we have
yes,
to also we don't know what they're going through right now.
yes, yes. Mm.
Yeah. So Danilo, what you want to share?
Yes, yeah. I don't know if anyone have any more question. I think this was a very interesting talk. We didn't
Yeah.
expect to go this way.
No.
I just,
It was
I just,
interesting.
yes.
Yes.
We didn't plan it. It was
No, we didn't
completely
plan.
out of plan, but I think
Yes.
it was very interesting. I was just talking what I was feeling in my heart, and I think
Yes.
this is the most important thing right now. To everyone to be able to connect to their own heart,
Yes.
and through this negativity or through this mind to be able to just sit and tell your mind, like, that's what I do. Whenever I'm going to sit for 10-20 minutes to meditate, I tell my mind that, okay, you will not bother me now for 10-20 minutes, you can bother me later. Because there's a lot of times there are a lot of worries, there are a lot of things that you think about and you feel that you have to solve. But I always tell myself, okay, in these 10-20 minutes that I'm going to sit now, I don't have to solve anything. You're not going to change if I solve anything right now. So give me this time. And that time I always connect with my heart. And always, always, always when I connect to my heart, inspirations, thoughts that are not mine pop up saying, do this, do that, and try to do this, like things that I wasn't even imagining of doing. Suddenly I have the desire to do. And I think, like, where does desire come from? And I think it's the heart, like, the heart, and you connect to this. Maybe you're just you're opening yourself to these higher souls that wants to help you. And once you sit there and connect to your heart, they pop the desire into you. Like, it's amazing. It's not even a thought. It's like, oh, I want to do this, I have to do this.
Yes.
So yeah.
I don't know why, but I'm crying right now because I'm thinking that we love you guys so much, and I also feel that before you wrote that, I also feel I love everybody so much. I have so much love in me, and oh, it's just coming out right now.
Yes.
And so yeah, phew, a lot of love. And
Mm,
that's beautiful. And yeah, I think that's it. We have to see our good and bad sides. And I think it's very important that we see our bad sides and that we have compassion for ourselves. If we are grumpy, if we don't feel worthy, if we feel we're not
yes.
good enough, no, we are good enough. And I always say that maybe we would act very different in a world where we don't have tension on money, where we can stay very beautifully living our life in a peaceful way as families, where we don't have to serve like slaves to a tax system which is never satisfied, and where we you come up with so much work. I mean, in Germany, most people need 3 jobs to even live their life. We
Mm,
have to have compassion for ourselves and for others, of where their pain comes from, where their anger comes from, why we expect so much from ourselves and others. That might be not only our own bad sides. And I think it's important to see that and to work on things and heal and to be, if we always beat ourselves up and think we are not good
mm,
enough, we are not worthy, I mean, we're not going anywhere, right? So we
yes.
only can do the best we can do. And I'm not perfect. I have my
Mm,
moments. I know.
yes.
And I just be authentic. And I'm just thank you for everybody who is still with me. And because I
Mm,
cannot hide anymore. I cannot. It's just, this is how I am. So I give my best. Everybody gives their best. And sometimes I
yes.
feel huge love. Sometimes I feel huge anger. And I think it's very important to always come back to the point of where we see we're doing our best, and to come back to compassion to ourselves and others. That is a job. That is
Yes.
important.
Yes. And yes, and also even though we also try to, I feel also feel like even though we also try to share positivity, share this inspiring message, I cannot say for myself that I'm very good as well. You know, I'm also in my own journey. I also have my bad sides, my bad karmas that I'm working on right now. And I think like if we didn't have karma, we didn't need to be here.
Yes.
We would already, we already have done samadhi or even given samadhi. If
Yes.
we didn't have
Like
any more.
somebody.
Yeah. So even though we talk about all these, or even any other YouTuber or even spiritual teachers, I feel that everyone is working
Sure.
on their own
Sure.
path.
It never
So
stops. It never stops. And
yes,
even it's even said about gods. I mean, can you imagine? It's even said
yes,
about
yes,
gods. It's like they're cursing each other, yeah. And then Saraswati has to come back as no, Lakshmi has to come back as Tulsi, because she
uh-huh.
did something. I mean, she comes as a Tulsi plant. That's why everybody is praying to Tulsi, because she's also Lakshmi. I mean, there's a lot of going on. And so we are in a big purification process, and we are in an awareness process. And I
Yes,
think to go that way, one of the weapons is love and truth.
yes, yes, love and truth.
Mm-hmm.
So yes,
Okay.
hmm,
Yeah, beautiful. So let us know when you want us to do another live stream, maybe next week. We try to invite certain people to our live stream. One I really wanted to see was Laura Eisenhower, but unfortunately she didn't answer. And I think that a lot of the truthers and the people who are also very famous already in their work, what they're doing, are very, very busy. And one
yes,
more person I wanted to interview, he said, no, for my protection and your protection, I don't do interview right now. Also, that is very interesting. And I saw that now yesterday, what he meant with that. So, okay. So, but I think it's beautiful if we keep on doing these talks, Danielo, once a week or
yes,
something.
yes, yes. And we just let it flow and see how it
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
beautiful.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm. So
Thank
thank you for
you.
joining us,
Thank
and
you.
hope that it could be of any help to you guys. Mm.
Yes. And lots of love. Let's
Yes,
chant a
lots of
shanti.
love.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care, everybody.
Take
Lots
care.
of love.